This conference will now be recorded.
Very good morning. Are we done with build triggers? So what were the last two build triggers? Build after other projects. And then so build other projects. So build after other projects and then build other projects. So what's the difference between these two? What's the difference between these two? So build other projects is an post-build action, right? It's a post-build action. So it means build your project. I mean, after building my project, so then you can build other projects. That is your post-build action, right? So whereas the build after the project, this is a build triggering mechanism. Right. Now, can we go with multiple build actions? That means multiple upstream, downstream project. So whatever the jobs you mentioned here, build after other projects, these ones are upstream projects. And whatever you mentioned in this post-build action, these are downstream projects. Okay. Now, if I mention multiple upstreams, let's say I have two projects. I have job 1 and job 2. So these two are upstreams for job 3. So we have two upstreams, job 1, job 2 are the upstreams for job 3. Then what is the condition between these two? Yes, so this is our conditions. Any one of these two jobs is triggered, that will be triggering your job 3. Okay. Then how about this? I have job 4 and then job 5, and these are up downstreams for job 3. Then what is the condition? Unconditional. So once. So job 3 is upstream, and job 4 are the downstream. So the condition is unconditional. Okay. Now, so let's go with. So let's create build pipelines. So, and then before that, we talk about views. Then we talk about build pipelines. Let's talk about views first. But let's start Jenkins. So this is our Jenkins. And then, so for example, let's see, just look at here, we have number of jobs, right? So we have number of jobs, but these jobs might be from different projects. I have project 1. For some of the projects, let's say I have project 1. For project 1, these jobs belongs to project 1. I have project 2. These 3 jobs belongs to project 3, project 2, and other jobs belongs to project 2, project 3. I'm sorry. Yeah. So how to differentiate them? So what project belongs to what project? So for example, take these two jobs. These two are belongs to project 1. And then project 2, I have some other jobs. Project 3, I have other jobs. But how do I differentiate them? So when I look at this, now I see that all the jobs belongs to some common project, but I don't want to see them. I want to create a kind of a view and where I can differentiate what are the jobs belongs to what project. For example, let's say this is my Jenkins and I'm using my Jenkins for multiple projects, but I have same Jenkins. I have one Jenkins master and using it for multiple projects. If that is the case, how to differentiate that? So what are the jobs belongs to what project? So we cannot differentiate that, right? So that's why we have views. I can create a view by click on the plus symbol, or else you can click on that new view. So both are same. Click on new view and then give some project name. Let's say, sorry, back to views again. Sorry, and let's say project 1, and then go with list view. That means I want to create a list. So of a project, of a view, and in that list, I'm going to list some of the jobs. Now go with list view. Now select the jobs you want to list under that project 1 view. So I want to select a couple of projects. Okay. Now I have a view. So in this view, what is my view name? What is my project name is project 1. So these are the jobs belongs to project 1. I want to create new views. Let's say create a view and let's say so project 2 and then list views. Okay, and then select the jobs. I have project 2. So I want to create another project. Click on that again. So let's say project 3 and then list view and okay, and then you have okay. So this is how the views are helpful. You can differentiate them, how to create, so what projects needs to be created. Okay. So let me again click on the new view again, plus, but this time I'm going to create an pipeline view. I'm not going to create a list view. I'm going to create a pipeline view. So what is a pipeline view? Back to the dashboard. So go to some project. So whatever the project, select some project. And look at this project. My project or my job has number of upstreams, number of downstreams. Right? So I have a couple of upstreams, also I have a couple of downstreams. Okay. Now in this example, so I select some projects again, some jobs, I'll select some jobs. And further, there is one more downstream. And further, there are some more downstreams. There is one more upstream. But so if I click on these upstream, downstreams, so that might be a bit confusing for me. I'm not able to find the relation between these jobs. I'm not able to find that. So what is the upstream? What is the downstream? And I'm not able to find it because I'm selecting jobs randomly, but somewhere I'm missing the flow. Right? But I want to find the flow, how the jobs are connected. I want to see them in a graphical view. When I create a view, and that view is going to give me a clear picture. What is your upstream? How many downstreams it has? Again, it has how many downstreams? You can see that in a clear graphical view, in a pictorial view, in a picture. So that is what we call a pipeline view. So previously I have created a view called list view. In the list view is only for listing the project, listing the jobs. But when I create a new pipeline view, now I'm creating something like so pipeline 1. That's my name. But what I'm going to select, I'm going to select build pipeline view. Okay. So, but one condition, if you want to have this kind of option available when you create a view, you must have already installed a plugin. So what is the plugin name? The plugin name itself is build pipeline is a plugin name. The plugin name is build pipeline. Okay, that's a plugin name. So let me show you the plugin. So go to Manage Jenkins, and then Global Tool Configure, plugins, Manage plugins, and install. The plugin name is Build Pipeline Plugin. So once after this plugin is installed, so this option you'll be able to see here. Otherwise, this won't be available. But so don't worry, this plugin takes about 15 to 20 minutes. You just install it. Okay, wait for some time. If that is a failure, you just try at least 2 to 3 times. That's not a problem. So you might get you might be getting some handshake issues. That means network connectivity issues. Otherwise, there won't be any issues for the plugins. And if you have handshake issues, how to fix them? How to fix the plugin issues when you have handshake issues? How to fix it? URL. Where is the URL? Under updates or advanced, whatever it is. Click on that. Check now. Then the connection will be re-established. You can install the plugin smoothly. Okay. Well, so now select the build pipeline plugin. Option. Okay. Now I'm going to select the upstream downstream projects. Okay. Select an upstream project. I'm going to select a job called Linux job and save it. So Linux is an upstream, and for that, couple of downstreams. I can see that clearly. For example, I'm creating another view. Let's say create one more. Pipeline 2, build pipeline. Okay. And there I would select, let's say, a Windows job. Okay. Just save it. Now there is a view. Okay. So now it's easy to find out the list of the jobs or the view, or you can say the flow. Right. Well, so what is the conditions of upstream conditions? Or condition, right? So for Linux job, how many upstreams we have? 2 upstreams, right? So it's our condition. Since I have selected Windows job, so we have, this is a condition. Now downstream condition is, what is the downstream condition? And condition. So both jobs are listing here. That means both jobs will be triggered. Since upstream is always our condition, only one job is listed. Okay. Well, so now the question is, why do you call it build pipeline? So this is a pipeline view. Okay, understand it. But why we call them build pipeline? Because the pipeline can be built. I can run the pipeline. So I can click on the run the pipeline. When I click on the run the pipeline, just click on it. And now it's in progress. Okay. So just refresh. You can see the status. So it's a failure. Windows job is a failure. So again, just run it. So why it's not building? So your nodes might be offline, I think. So that's the Windows job, right? So that's because of nodes are offline, I think so. Yeah, Windows node, that's offline. So as soon as you have the node online, the pipeline will be triggered. Okay, so it has to be running. And also make sure we have Linux node is also online. So IP address is 139. Its node is not running. So well, it's okay. I'll just leave that. I don't want to take my node online. Just leave it. Anyway, is my Windows node is online. it's yet to connect. So that's connected, and back to the pipeline view. Yeah. So let's try to build it. So it is running. So as usual, the follow-up jobs, that means downstream projects also will be triggered. Anyway, that's only for building purpose. So we can build the pipelines. That's why we call them build pipelines. Now, but these pipelines, so that is also a pipeline view. That's a build pipeline. But like I said, we can create the pipelines even through scripts. We call them scripted pipelines. These pipelines I have created so through the graphical options, right? Through the plugins. But I want to create a pipeline, so with some scripts, using some Groovy scripts. So we talk about that. But before that, so let's proceed with securities. Okay, let's talk about Jenkins securities. Now, so what is a security and why we need Jenkins securities? Now, so this is important, and this topic is important, especially those who are planning to apply for senior positions, because in senior positions you will be given an admin access for Jenkins. So if you have admin access, then managing securities of Jenkins is your responsibility. Okay. For junior positions, you might not be given this responsibility, especially for senior positions. So this might be one of your responsibilities. But having knowledge for everyone is a good advantage. Anyway, let's talk about Jenkins securities. So when you talk about securities, remember first, if you have a questions regarding securities, how your pipelines are secured, or how your Jenkins is secured, or how your projects have been secured. You're a DevOps engineer. How you're providing securities for DevOps, right? If that is a question, now we talk about securities first at repositories level. So we know very well how to provide securities at repositories level. So do you remember those options? GitHub access control, organizations, create organizations, create repositories, add users, and controlling their permissions, managing their roles. That's all comes under repository level security. And after that, so I'm providing securities at repository level, and also we are providing securities at Jenkins level. Okay. Now, but what are those securities? So now, when you talk about DevOps, always we talk in terms of a team, right? You have DevOps team. So I have got 3 team members in my project. These 3 team members, and there is an lead, and there is a senior member. Also, there is a junior. So this is my team. We have 3 members of team. So lead, senior, and then junior. So lead will be given access admin. Now, what do you mean by admin access? So this is Jenkins, right? So far into Jenkins, we are logging in as which user? Admin user. But apart from admin user, you can also have non-admin users. But why do I create non-admin users? Why do you create non-admin users? Yes. For example, you see there is project 1. The project 1 is handled by the senior team, senior member. Is working with project 1. And there is a junior, he is working with project 2. So if I log into my Jenkins logout, and I'm logging into as my Jenkins as my name is senior. If I log into Jenkins with that username, what projects I will be able to see? The jobs of project 1. If I log in as junior user, I will be able to see the jobs of project 2. Okay, but there is also have another project, right? We also have project 3, and among that project 3 we have 3 jobs. Some of the jobs I want to give access to junior, some of the jobs I want to give access to senior. That is also possible. Okay, but so if you want to control the user permissions, first of all we create the users, right? Once we create the users on Jenkins, then we'll be able to control the user permissions. Are we clear? But how we do that? How to create users, how to control the permissions, so we'll talk about that first. Okay, now so just a second, just like to go with one second. I want to reset all the settings. Just a second. All settings are done. Just a second. So let's go with now. So go to manage Jenkins first, and under manage Jenkins, so the option is there you have. So manage users. So this is where you create the users first. So if you want to control the user permissions, you first create users. Okay, but so manage users, but I have these users already. I just remove them as well. Just remove them. I forgot to remove them all. So just remove them. So, but why we have admin user? So admin is a default user, right? So we have not created this user. Admin is a default user. Okay. So admin is a default user. When this user was created?
The time of launching Jenkins.
Yes. So when we have logged into Jenkins initially as an initial admin user, remember? So that user was admin user, and that is one thing. And we can create more users. We do it, and moreover, and configure global security is option how you control the user permissions. Configure global security. So there you see that security ring. Under security ring, you have Jenkins or user database. So what is that? So every time I'm logging in to Jenkins as an user, what is the username we have been logging in? Admin user. But that user has to be given some authentication, right? What do you mean by authentication? His username and the password needs to be verified. Where they will be verified from? See, if the user credentials are saved in somewhere, then the user credentials will be verified, authorized. But from where they'll be authenticated? Where they'll be authenticated from? That is what is Jenkins' own user database. So where is the database? In Jenkins root directory. So where is the Jenkins root directory? In root user directory. What is the directory name? .jenkins cd. So .jenkins. Okay. And where the users? The users, you can see that under users, cd users. So what is the default user? That means the default user. What is that no reply user? No reply means anonymous user. Okay. So what is anonymous user? If I log out, right, I'm logging out. Now you are anonymous. So am I logged in? No. If I don't log in, can I see anything? Okay. But is it possible without logging into Jenkins? Can I still manage Jenkins? Can I still see Jenkins? So how do you do that? Manage Jenkins and then configure global security. So there you have, what is that? Under authorization, anyone can do anything. So what do you mean by anyone can do anything? Yes, even though you are not logged into Jenkins, you can manage anything on Jenkins. So let's log out. Are we logged in? Are we logged in? No, right? But still I can do anything, right? What do you mean by I can do anything? Anything means I can create a job, I can go to a job, I can delete it, I can configure, I can build, I can see the workspace. That is what we mean by anything. So what is the user? User is anonymous user, or I can say no reply user. So that's a user, is a user, no reply user. Okay. And what is the user.xml? Whatever the users you have, you can see the list of users under user.xml. So we have no reply user, also we have admin user. Okay. Now, so since I'm anonymous user, I can do anything, right? So what do you mean by anything? I go to manage users. Can I delete this user? So I can delete even admin user. So that's why it's not a secured option. So never go with that. Anyway, so that is the reason. See, in the past, not now. So in the latest versions of Jenkins from last 2 years or so, we have this initial admin user creation. Initial, like when we have set up the Jenkins, right? So you unlock the Jenkins. So what is the reason? For this reason. That means you create a user. I mean, user is there by default, admin user. So, and you enter the password. As soon as you enter the password, then admin is a default user. But before that, so there was no concept called unlock Jenkins. Straight away, when you copy the Jenkins URL file, you enter the URL, you have this kind of page straight away without logging in. So it's not secure. That is the reason they have introduced that initial admin password concept. Okay. So now, so I have deleted admin user, right? Can I create them? Of course, you can do it. That is how we make it secure. Let's start from beginning. Now go to manage Jenkins. Now manage users. I'm going to create a user first. So create user, and what's the username is? Give some username and some user password and email ID and also some full name email ID. Now user is created. But is the admin user? So username is admin, but I'm talking about his permissions. So did we provide any permissions for that user?
No.
So even if I create another user, let's say I'm creating some user called some senior user and some password, just some password, and then some name and email ID. Now, can you differentiate these two users?
No.
No, right? So for example, let's say let's log in. We try to log into them. What's the user? What kind of access? Full access, admin access. Even if I log out, any difference? Even if I log in as senior, no difference. Why? Because anyone can do anything. Now, so let's start controlling the user permissions through managed securities. Okay, global security. Initially, Jenkins comes with a default option called login users can do anything. This is the default option. So comes with Jenkins. So like I said in the previous versions, the option was anyone can do anything, but now it has been changed to login users can do anything. So let's log in. I change that option. Now, so what is the user I log in? Admin. Now you see that the view is being changed. For example, this is my Jenkins URL. What is happening? Just Jenkins URL. This one, yeah, try that. Was it not saved? Let's see. Should not be this view actually. Let me check out. That should not be actually. So we'll just log in. Yeah, expected. It's okay. It's not a problem. So I might have done some mistakes. So let's log out. Now we are login. We are logged in now. It's taking some time. Log out. But so this is not reflecting so fast. So it should be reflecting actually. It's not reflecting. So login. Let's log in. Okay, let's log in. And once you log in, go to Manage Jenkins and then Global Security. So login users can do anything. Moreover, so this is why it was missing. What was that? Hello, anonymous users. So I just uncheck it. 1 second. I check it. Save it. So these are just errors, Jenkins issues. So that's not a problem. Just wait for and then save it. Now log out. So this is what we are expecting. So this kind of thing. So even before that, I was not logging into Jenkins, but it was giving me some jobs view, right? What was the reason? Anonymous user can have read access to Jenkins. I don't want that. I want everyone must log into Jenkins. Now, if I log in as an admin user or senior user, does it make any difference? No. Why?
Users can do.
Because login users can do anything. Any user who is logged into Jenkins can do anything. What is anything means? Create jobs, delete jobs, they can do anything. But I want to control the user permissions now. Okay, let's go to manage Jenkins, and then again, so global security. So here we start controlling the users and their permissions. So what is the option I would go with now? Matrix-based security. But if you want to have this option available, so firstly we install a plugin first. Okay, so what is a plugin? The plugin name is, so matrix-based security is not a default option. So for that you install a plugin. The plugin name is, this is for security reasons. So the plugin name is, so it is Matrix Authorization Strategy. That's a plugin name. That's a plugin name. So just leave this page and go to manage plugins. Manage plugins. I install a plugin which is Matrix-based authorization strategy. Is it under install? I have removed it. Yeah, I removed it, but still. So when you remove these plugins, so we'll take some time to remove from the Jenkins. That's okay. So Matrix-based, okay, Matrix authorization strategy plugin. Uninstalling, pending. So I will uninstall it. But why it is not uninstalled? Jenkins must be restarted. So this is what I said. Some of the plugins so needs to be uninstalled. Will be reflecting in the list after you restart them. I have uninstalled that plugin already, but it's still available. The reason is restart your Jenkins. Once it is restarted, the plugin will be removed. The same thing with some plugins when you install them. The plugin says so installation is pending, but that will be installed after you restart your Jenkins. Okay. Now, but anyway, assume that the plugin is installed. Okay. So I get some issues, some conflicts. That's not a problem. So if you get issues, we'll see how to fix it. That's not a problem. But back to manage Jenkins and then global security. So if you get issues, okay, so just fix them. Nothing to worry. So we just sit on it and we fix it. Now go with an option called matrix-based security. So what is matrix-based security, and in what cases we select that matrix-based authorization strategy or matrix-based security? The matrix-based is used for the purpose of controlling a user at overall Jenkins level. Overall Jenkins level. So what is overall Jenkins level? Like I said, that means who can see the jobs, right? Who can do what? So for example, I have a user. I allow the users only to build the jobs. I allow the users only to delete the jobs, or else I don't want users to create jobs. I want to control the users at overall Jenkins level. So if you don't understand it, let me first do it, then we understand it. Now, so what is the first option is, you're controlling the user's permission, right? If you want to control the user permissions, make sure you add users. You click on that add user, add a user. So who is the user I'm going to add first? Admin. Okay. So previously, what was the option we had? What was the option? So login users can do anything. I've changed it to matrix-based security. So once I change the matrix-based security, you add a user. Just enter the username as admin, and then click on OK. And now user is added. So even though admin user is admin user, this user is just a user name. And once we provide the permissions, the user will be having set up access. Okay. And then admin user. And what permissions I want to provide? Overall administrator permissions. overall administrator permissions. So if you provide overall administrator permission, this user now will be acting as administrator. Okay, so sign in and save it and then sign in. So log out. So log in as admin user. So I'm logged in and then just look at that I have full access. Full access means I can see the jobs, even I can go to manage Jenkins. I can manage securities, I can manage plugins, I can do anything. So configure securities again. Like to add more users. So go with. So still the same permission type. What is the permission type is matrix based. And then so scroll on to the right. And I'm going to add more users. Senior user. Let's add user. And for this user, I'm going to provide overall read. Any user who wants to log into Jenkins must have at least overall read access. If the users are not assigned with overall read access, users won't be able to log into Jenkins. So we'll just find out. So let's save it first. And then scroll down. Like to create another user, the user name. Let's create a user. So junior user. So all things are just same as the username. Okay. Now we have two users. Apart from admin, we have two more users: senior and junior. So senior has already a permission assigned. What was the permission? Overall read. But junior user. So let's see the difference. So senior. I can log into Jenkins, but can I see the jobs? No, I cannot see the jobs. So when I log out and then log in as junior, access denied. Why? Yes. So anyone who wants to log in has to be provided with minimum read access, overall read access. Okay. So log out and then log in back as admin. Now this admin user is an administrator for us. Okay. So he can do anything. He can create users. He can create jobs. He can do anything with plugins. All actions can be done by the admin user. So configure global security and add that other user we have created. Let's add. So what's the user is junior, right? Let's enter the username. Now user is added. So the minimum permission is overall read. So provide the permission. Now let's assign some more permissions to the users. Now I'm going to assign permissions at job. So if there is a job, so what kind of actions we can do on a job? Yeah, we can create a job, we can build, configure, delete. So you can see them. Read access, workspace access, all this access. Okay. Now first go with build access. I want both users can build the jobs, senior and junior. Cancel, yes, can be done by both, but configuration can be done only by the senior. Junior user won't be able to configure the jobs. And then create jobs. I don't want either senior or junior to create the jobs. I don't want that. Only I want admin has to create the jobs. And then delete. Yes, don't delete the jobs. And discover, read, both are same. You see that when I check the read access, nothing but discover. So read access, and then also move the jobs. Okay, let me move, and then access to the workspace. Now the difference between junior and senior. What's the difference? Only one difference. Configure. Okay. So now let's see. Is it applied? Senior user. So take a job. Now I can build it. I can configure it. But will I be able to delete a job? I cannot delete a job. So I can't even create a job. Okay. So what? Go with junior. Okay. So take a job. I can build it, but I can't configure. Can we configure it? So there is no option. Okay. Now, so, but that is not exactly what I want. See, like we have seen, when I have logged in as junior or senior, both users were able to see all jobs, right? Did you observe that? So whether it's senior or junior, so whenever you log in, so these users are able to see all the jobs. That means even all the projects. But for senior, I want to provide access to for these two jobs only. And senior, so junior, I mean project. So how is that possible? So in that case, I would change the permissions now. So manage Jenkins and then configure security. Authorization. So rather than matrix-based authorization, I would select the second type of authorization, which is project-based. The name itself says it is project-based. Okay, that's project-based. Now the difference between matrix-based and then project-based. What's the difference? So matrix-based authorization type is used to control Jenkins at overall. Any changes you do at the matrix level, matrix security, that is applicable to all the jobs, overall Jenkins level. But whenever you do the changes at project-based changes, the changes are applicable for the individual project. Okay, but this is also called project-based matrix. That means you can use this same type of authorization strategy for both purposes, for individual job purpose or else overall Jenkins purpose. You see that all the options are same as matrix based, right? There is no change. But how the difference is? So what is the difference? Now here you just go with as usual. I add users first. Always remember you must add admin user first. To add that user and then go with overall and then administrator permissions. But what in case I have selected this option and apart from admin user, I have provided read access.
Cannot do permission for this.
Administrator cannot change the permissions. Then who can change it?
I cannot assign permissions for the users.
Admin has a read access. I saved it. So Jenkins is been saved. Where is admin? He's admin, right? There's only admin user. That's it. Only one user, admin user. There is no different admin users. Only one admin user always.
He is not admin.
Yeah, is an admin then.
It's just a user.
Okay.
We can have only read access.
Who can change it then? He's just a read user. Who can change it?
Anonymous.
Why anonymous? I don't want there is no anonymous option, right? So there is no anonymous option because the option project is matrix-based authorization. There is no anonymous. Anonymous cannot log in. Anonymous users can log in only if you go with, what is that? Anyone can do anything.
Yeah. Jenkins admin,
Jenkins admin.
even
So once you create an admin user and change the password, you remember once we have set up the Jenkins, I changed the password, right? Remember the password? I mean, we have changed it. You remember the concept? Whenever you reset the password, the initial admin password does not work anymore. So it does not work. Then what will be the Jenkins status? I have only one user. That username is admin, but by mistake I have assigned read access. So what is going to happen now if I save it? No one else can log in, right? Admin can log in, but only read access. We cannot do anything with this Jenkins. Okay, Jenkins will be locked. No one will be able to log into Jenkins except this user, that too only limited access. Jenkins will be locked. Okay. So Jenkins is locked, then we cannot log into Jenkins. That's not possible. But I've done it by mistake. So yeah, that can be fixed. That's not a problem. So you must do it from the Jenkins root directory. So from the front end, we cannot do it because your whole user interface is locked. You cannot do anything from here. Okay, so you can do it alternatively in the back end. So from where do we do that? In Jenkins root directory, I mean Jenkins home directory. So go to users. And then
XML file.
it's not users. 1 second. It's not users. So in Jenkins root directory itself, there is a file called config.xml. So open that file. And then, so here make sure use security is true, right? Now change it to false. Now tell me what happens if I do this. What change will be done at the Jenkins side if I make it false? Securities are false. That means you don't need to log into Jenkins. This is something like anyone can do anything. So in cases if your Jenkins is locked, make sure you just come to config.xml page, unlock Jenkins, change it to false, and then so save it and then restart your Jenkins or restart Tomcat. Then the Jenkins will be unlocked. Okay. So these issues used to happen in the earlier versions. That is the reason they have introduced this initial admin concept. Okay. Right. Now, so back to overall. So make sure first admin user. So anything else? So nothing else. So I'm not adding any other users from this page. So if I don't do any changes from this page, from where do I do the changes from? Now we do the changes from the jobs, projects. So first enable that option. What was that option? Project-based matrix authorization type, enable it, and then add a user called admin user. And later, now you're under project one. What is the job? This is the job, and configure this. and then so enable project-based security. Under general, enable project-based security. Okay, and then you just add users over here. Same things again. All the things are same, but the changes you do at this job, the changes are applicable for that job, not for whole Jenkins. Since we are in the job and then we are under general, enable project-based security. This if you want to have this option available at this project general section, make sure you select that matrix base first. If the matrix base is not selected at the security level, this option won't be appearing. Okay, select it and then so add a user as usual, senior, and what permissions? You see the permissions again, same permissions, job, read and job, delete and configure. And you want to check individually, you can check individually, or else click on that. So grant all permissions. So save it. Now, so we have another project, another job in the same project. Configure it. And then enable project-based security and adding a user. So grant all permissions, save it. Now I just log out and then so change the usernames to senior, and that's also his password. So what is that? Where? We have missed some important point. What is that? So we have not added that user at manage Jenkins level. Yes. So manage Jenkins, manage global security. So the user, add user, and then user must be overall rate. Okay, that is rate. And I'm also adding the second user. User, that is a minimum permission. So add that permission. So log out and then the username senior. Now I'm able to see only these two projects. So why that project 3 is appearing? Why this job? No.
Because in
Okay, just a second. 1 second. I think I might have done it for the other one. 1 second. Just a second. Project 3. So, just configure it. I'm sorry. I think I have done the settings already for some other purposes. I just remove that. Uncheck it. Just log out. Let's log in again. So I have only project 1 jobs, right? So will I be able to see any other jobs, any other projects? So users must be added individually. So, well, you can try the same thing for other user. We have second user, junior user. So project 2. For these 2 projects, I want to add a user. So enable project-based security and then add a user. So grant all permissions. That means read, write, read, and then also configure, build, cancel, and do the same for second job in the project. Configure it. add a user again. Save it. So log out. Sorry. Who is a user? Junior. Now I can see only the jobs which are assigned to me. Okay. But what if I want to add multiple users for the same job or same project? Can we do it? Go to project 3 and take a job. So configure it. So enable, and then so add a user, junior, and add second user, senior. And for junior, let's senior all access, and for junior only job read. Now I can just log out first as a junior user. I can see that project 3 we have a job, but I do nothing with this. It's only for read purpose. Can't build, I can't cancel, I cannot do anything. Okay. So do it for 3. I have a job assigned, and that job I can delete, configure, anything. Yeah. So this is how we control the users at project level. The first one was matrix based. Second one was project based matrix. So which one is preferred? Project based, of course. But apart from this, so we have seen 2 types of authorization types. The first one was matrix based, and second one was project based, and third one we have is role based. Okay, so we talk about this role based in tomorrow's session. Okay, so we talk about role based, and then after, so we'll be moving on to Tomcat securities. How we can provide securities to the Tomcat. Okay, we talk about that. So but today you just try these 2 types of authorization strategies. But for both of them, either matrix based or project based, there is only one plugin. The plugin name is matrix authorization strategy. There is no other plugin for project based. When you install matrix authorization strategy plugin, automatically it is going to give you both options: project based, role based. Sorry, project based, matrix based. But for role based, the plugin is different. So role-based authorization, that's a plugin. We have different plugin for this. Okay. But any questions?
So rather than giving product-based metrics, going to product and giving the permission, maybe give it managing global competition. There only give you users product access.
Sorry, what was that? I could not get.
At the managing only the users permission about the product.
That's not possible. That's not the concept. If you do it through managed Jenkins, that is called matrix based. Right? So I want to control the user at individual project level. That's why which is called project based.
Yes, there is a problem. There is product-based metrics. They're involved.
No, there is no possible. So you must go to the job, add users, control the permissions. You cannot do project based through managed Jenkins. That's not possible. But what if you have, let's say, 50, 60 jobs, right? So if you have 50, 60 jobs, then it's not possible to give you the list of the whole list at the managed Jenkins. If you want to get the list, that is not possible. That's the reason. So that option is not there. Yes, you must go to individual job. Yeah. Any more questions? Anyone tried yesterday's VPC concepts? Don't tell me that I have not uploaded video. I asked you whether you practiced or not. Able to create VPCs, subnets? Why? So try that. I know I have not uploaded video, so just try it first. I will be uploading it after 1 hour, so you can access it. Thank you.